What is up, everybody? There's True Sage, and yes, it is still pronounced True Sage. My eyebrow piercing fell out. I'm so embarrassed. I gotta get it re-pierced. I know it's been a minute since I reacted to One Piece. I'm back. All 22 types of Haki explained. Now, the reason why we're reacting to this video is because I have reacted to videos about Haki before. They did explain to me the different kind of Haki, like, Conqueror's Haki, Observation Haki, Armament Haki, and even went more into details about those kind of things. But this was talking about 22 different type of Haki? No, I understand I ain't reacted to One Piece in a minute, but what the f did y'all get 22 types of Haki? Either I missed a lot within this couple of months, or somebody lied. So, I ain't wasting you guys' time. Hit the subscribe button. After that, we get straight into the video.
These are all 22 types of Haki in One Piece, and today I'll be explaining
talking about 22 types of Haki, my ass.
This includes everything from 3 basic Haki types, all
the way to the
abilities that allow you to negate your opponent's devil fruits, or even damage immortal creatures like Gorose. But before that, let's start with my personal favorite, Conqueror's Haki. Conqueror's Haki is also known as
Haki, maybe my
Supreme
favorite too.
King's Haki, and
I like
it's
Observation Haki too, but
rare. The odds of someone having it are 1 in a million. Supreme Kings are born, not made, and no amount of training will let anyone awaken this ability. The most basic application of Conqueror's Haki is to quickly overwhelm weak people around the user. The user can do this by sending out waves of energy that knock people out and leave them foaming from the mouth. One of the earliest and clearest examples
it's pretty
of this
cool.
was when
I'm not gonna
Shanks
lie.
paid Whitebeard a visit. Just by walking across the deck, his Haki was so intense that it made the wood crack, and people near him just started passing out uncontrollably. The funniest thing is that Shanks didn't even consider this an attack. He was pretty much just aura farming. 15th place. But a much stronger Haki type is Advanced Conqueror's Haki, which only a few
I see what he's doing. So, is he separating Advanced Conqueror's Haki from regular Conqueror's Haki? Because if he separated them, then that's how he's talking about 22 types of Haki. I'm like, there's no, this is actually 22 different types of Haki.
People in the series have developed. The users of this Haki type don't just knock out nearby foes. Instead, they can also influence the environment and destroy nearby objects. The black sparks you see coming off people like Kaido, Shanks, and Luffy are a visual indication that they're using their Advanced Conqueror's abilities. One of the most memorable moments
it's not actually there
was when
in the
Luffy
actual
had
universe.
his final fight with Kaido. After mastering his Haki control, Luffy didn't need to physically connect with him to do any damage. His Conqueror's Haki was just flowing through his blows at that point. One of the most broken powers in the entire story.
Okay, so he's separating them.
Let's now dive deep into Advanced Conqueror's Haki to figure out what exactly someone can do with it. Environment manipulation. Think back to when you saw Roger and Whitebeard clash swords with each other. Did you notice a massive gust of wind travel through the area even though their swords didn't even touch? That's the power of manipulating your environment using Advanced Conquerors. We can notice something similar if we analyze the fight between Luffy and Kaido.
Okay, I see. I like what you got going here, man. So this is not really like 22 different types of Haki in One Piece. It's really just the probably just the regular 3, but he kind of just needed to split them up to make a video. But I get it. I like it. I respect it. I like it. But let's continue though. Let's continue.
Their Haki was so powerful that the clash split the clouds in the sky above Onigashima. Shanks also showed off his terrifying control over this type of Haki when he battled against Kid. Here, the sheer burst of spiritual pressure
one-shotted Kid?
I
don't know why Kid did that. I don't know why Kid did that to this day.
And shaking pebbles is cool, but ultimately useless. 22nd place. There are still insane Haki types left to cover. 19 Haki types left to cover. And let's continue with the broken one, Devil Fruit Negation.
Yeah, can we talk about this? Because you said that at the beginning of the video, and I was like, huh?
Is tied to Conqueror's Haki, it's clear that strong Haki users have some way of negating their opponent's Devil Fruit abilities. This most likely works only if the user's Haki is much stronger than the opponent's, and they can pretty much impose their will onto them and negate their abilities. This is most likely what happened during Blackbeard's fight against Boa, or Shanks' fight against Bartolomeo. This would explain how Shanks—
Whoa. What do you mean, most likely? So is it confirmed that Devil Fruit Negation is truly a Haki ability, or did he just kind of make this up for the sake of the video? Go back.
Opponents, and they can pretty much impose their will onto them and negate their abilities. This is most likely what happened during Blackbeard's fight against Boa, or Shanks' fight against Bartolomeo. This would explain how Shanks was able to bypass Bartolomeo's barrier and defeat him, even though it should be impossible. It would also explain how Blackbeard wasn't turned into stone by Boa. Being able to use your willpower to disable any broken devil fruits
Maybe
makes
devil
you the
fruit
broken
negation,
one
or it could be
instead.
plot armor.
5th place, Beast Command. When a user's will is strong enough, they can even make wild beasts follow their command. Now, when I say this, you may immediately think about Momonosuke controlling Zunesha or Shirahoshi controlling the Sea Kings, but that's actually something completely different, which we will cover a bit later. What I'm talking about here is the ability to command regular animals, something like Zoro or Rayleigh did throughout the series. For example,
Explain.
Zoro did it during his stay at Mihawk's Island. Despite facing off against skilled baboons trained in swordsmanship, he ended up eventually becoming the alpha, and they just stopped attacking him. This applies to animals of all shapes and sizes. Just look at the large variety of animals Luffy has tamed
but we
throughout the
didn't
series.
wait. But you didn't explain. You didn't show Zoro actually using Haki to do it. Okay, I'm beginning to believe that the controlling animals of Haki probably isn't actually a Haki thing. He may just make this up for the sake of the video. But either way, God respect it. I respect it.
Commanding large and scary animals might seem useful, but it doesn't help in battle that much. 20th place, Detection Evasion. Although almost no one can do it, there are certain characters who can actually mask their Haki when there are other powerful foes around.
Okay, now this is actually a thing, I'm pretty sure.
Along with some of the God's Knights during their secret Elbaf invasion. These people can basically conceal their presence even from the powerful observation Haki users. Rayleigh also did it during his first meeting with Kizaru, when he walked past several Marines without alerting them to his strength. It's not that his Haki was weak, he just had it so tightly controlled that no one felt the pressure until he wanted them to. 13th place.
Okay.
Armament Haki.
That's
the
legit.
second basic
We know what Armament Haki is. And then you got Advanced Armament Haki
the
too.
User to coat their body parts with their will. Remember Virgo from Punk Hazard? He trained his Haki enough to coat his entire body with it, which is why it had a black hue to it. Armament Haki can basically help the user tank any sort of attack, ranging from punches, abilities, and even bullets. However, this type of Haki can also be used offensively to make the user's punches way more powerful by coating them. Additionally, the Logia users can only be damaged using Armament Haki, since all regular attacks would just phase right through them. This makes Armament Haki one of the most important skills for every strong.
It may be number one, because without it, you literally 14.
Armament
You
Haki.
Okay, well, Advanced Armament gotta be number one then, because you literally need Armament Haki in order to damage Logia users. So
just like with Advanced Conqueror's Haki users, Armament Haki users can also evolve their abilities with enough training and battle experience. Some characters like Luffy and Kid learned how to tap into these powers while battling against foes stronger than them, whilst others have trained their bodies for years.
Oh, then you got
way,
Garp,
just
who's
like
out
how
here doing
Garp,
Galaxy
Kobe, and
Impact.
Aokiji
Who
learned
fucking
this
Haki?
ability by punching battleships. Hyugoro briefly mentioned that the true Armament Haki can extend slightly beyond the body or blade. This creates an invisible layer of damage that doesn't rely on contact. 9th place. Let's now cover all the ways Advanced Armament Haki users can use their abilities, and some of these are absolutely insane. Advanced Coding. Armament Haki users can actually imbue their will into their weapons. These coded weapons can then harden into a state stronger than steel, and they pack a hard punch if they're ever used against someone. These weapons are highly effective, especially against Devil Fruit users of any kind. A weapon that gets coated in Haki gains a distinct black hue, and according to Mihawk, when a blade gets imbued with Haki over a long period of time, it turns black permanently. This likely means the Haki gets stored permanently inside the blade.
So Mihawk's sword just permanently covering the Haki
black
then.
blades are weapons
At least
in the
most
hands
likely
of some of the strongest characters in the series, like Roger, Mihawk, and Nasjuro. Kozuki Oden also used advanced hardening to coat both of his blades, and even managed to scar Kaido with them. However, his blades never permanently stayed black. Unless you want to end up like the live-action Zoro after his fight with Mihawk, weapon holding is the only way your blades will survive when you're up against other strong opponents. 8th place. Ryu. Ryu is the name used in Wano for what the rest of the world calls Armament Haki. However, what makes Wano's style unique is their advanced mastery of Ryu, which focuses on letting Haki flow outward from the body. This emission-type technique allows the user to strike without touching their target, or even damage them from the inside. It's a
now I know about this one. I watched the whole video last year talking about this type of
Luffy needed
Haki.
to learn this ability in order for his attacks to pierce through Kaido's scales. In this state, the user's Haki flows through their veins in perfect harmony, and the destructive power is first built up inside their body. That power is
How
then
is this not a top
transferred
5
cleanly
Haki,
through
bro?
their fist. Advanced Ryu is the most complicated and high-level usage of Armament Haki.
So it's top
Kawamatsu
5 then, right?
Also showed defensive use of Ryu when he redirected Big Mom's attack with precise Haki control. And in the anime, Ryu is often represented with flowing Sakura petals, a symbolic nod to Wano's traditions and the beauty of precise control. Almost nothing's more useful in battle compared to this. 4th place.
Okay, it is top 5. I was about to
Reflexive
say, it is top 5.
Armament.
I was about to say, hold
When a
on.
skilled Armament hockey user finds themselves in a sticky situation-
Hush your mouth, boy. Anyways, what I was saying though was that because he didn't put Advanced Armament Hockey in top 5, and I was like, bro, like you literally need Armament Hockey in order to damage low gear users. So I'm glad that he put that one in top 5. Like, go back. What was the list? Yeah, Devil Fruit Negation, Advanced Conquerors. I really don't know how like Armament and Advanced Armament is not even. It's that low. I mean, I guess Advanced is top 10, but I wonder what's number 1 is. I wonder what's gonna have as number 1. So also the fact that Conqueror's Hockey in general is number 15. Well, I kind of understand it being number 15 because if you really think about it, Conqueror's Hockey is more or less like NPC, like defeating. Like you really don't defeat NPCs. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really seen like an actual serious One Piece threat get defeated by Conqueror's Hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if it was as easy as Luffy can just walk up to Kaido with Conqueror's Hockey. So I can kind of understand. Even though it only takes out NPCs in the background, it's still fucking cool. I will probably have like number 10.
4th place. Reflexive Armament. When a skilled Armament Hockey user finds themselves in a sticky situation, their experience can actually help their bodies work on instinct.
I thought he was about to put that Haki
their
on
body
his
can
dick.
harden certain parts of itself right before the enemy strikes. Using this ability, the character doesn't have to constantly worry about defense and just lets their body harden on instinct to prevent damage.
Oh,
Oda
that's
used
nice.
This technique when he was sent flying thanks to Roger's infamous divine departure. Imagine if his body didn't instinctively harden at this point. He would be dead in seconds. Also,
probably so.
Zoro, during his rooftop fight in Onigashima, tanked a direct combined attack from both Big Mom and Kaido and continued to stand despite shattered bones. Wow. Part of it is thanks to his natural toughness. The only real explanation is that he unconsciously deflected the lethal blow. It's a hard ability to learn, and the character has to go through a ton of battles in order to master it. 11th place. Adaptive
11th?
Armament. Adaptive Armament
Wow.
is what you could consider an evolution of Reflexive Armament. In this state, the user can level up their hardening ability to a whole new level mid-battle. This is a special technique that's reserved for only the best fighters in the verse. For example, think back to the time Kaido was barely tanking Luffy's advanced Ryu blows. The blows hurt him, but what happened once Kaido got drunk? He was literally tanking anything Luffy threw at him without flinching. He somehow achieved this state in the heat of the battle to counter Luffy, and it's not clear if he would be able to replicate it again later. We see him take this one step further as soon as Luffy tapped into his Gear 5 form, growing his defenses even further, although he was eventually overpowered in the end. Even someone like Sentomaru managed to raise the strength of his defense by visibly increasing the level of Haki around his body to match Luffy's output. Constantly adapting is really important when up against super tough enemies like Emperors and Admirals. 6th place. Surgical Armament.
Okay.
This is a very rare and unique application of Armament Haki that allows the users to coat their fingers or any other body part in Haki in order to pierce through objects. Although it's not confirmed, it's likely that this is the ability Rayleigh used during the human auction at Sabaudi. There he destroyed
hold on.
Cammy's...
Wait, let's talk about this. He said even though it's not confirmed. So is he saying that this Haki is kind of just made up for the video, just so he can kind of keep the title of 22 types of Haki, or if it's actually a Haki technique, it isn't confirmed that this specific scene where Rayleigh was doing it was an example.
Slave collar before anyone even realized it. Luffy picked up on that and used the technique a couple of times himself, like when he destroyed his own slave collar in Udon, or when he broke through Yamato's exploding handcuffs during the raid of Onigashima.
But that looked like, hold on,
that
that looked like the other type of Haki. I can't pronounce it, but it's at number 4. That didn't look. I think he made that one up. I think he made that one up.
Specific scenarios. 19th place. Observation Haki. Now that we're done with the first two, let's talk about observation Haki. Believe it or not, willpower counts in very specific scenarios. 19th place. Observation Haki. Now
Okay, observation Haki is arguably the coolest type of Haki.
Believe it or not, willpower can also influence the way you see things in One Piece. With this ability, characters can see that which the naked eye can't. This amplified vision gives them all sorts of tactical benefits during their fights. Even though Supreme King's Haki is the rarest form of Haki according to most characters in the story, watching someone use their observation Haki properly is maybe even rarer. This was the first type of Haki we were introduced to in the show all the way back during the Skypiea arc, although back then it was called Mantra. 16th place. Advanced Observation Haki. Just like the other two types, there's an advanced version of Observation Haki too. This form of Haki lets the users tap into powers and abilities that, quite frankly, don't make any sense. But considering this is a world full battle of zombies, vampires, and giants, there's only so
Yeah,
much
there really
realism
is no
we
need
can
for
expect.
things to make
This
logical
type can be
sense.
used to perform various interesting abilities, and it usually revolves around the user focusing hard on their target or their environment. 10th place. So, without wasting any more time, here are all the types of advanced observation Haki. Combat awareness. Combat awareness is the ability used mostly in close quarters combat. This is pretty much what people would call reading your opponent's next move, which pretty much means dodging your opponent's
precognition.
strikes without even thinking about them. This is the Haki application most advanced fighters in the One Piece world use. For example, Luffy used it when dodging Pacifista's attacks post-time skip. His body was just intuitively dodging attacks without him having to think about it at all. Rayleigh even trained Luffy to make sure he could sense upcoming attacks.
Wait, I didn't know that Luffy used his Haki during that scene. I just thought that that was just Luffy's natural reflexes when he did that. I didn't think he used observation Haki during that scene. Can someone fact check that? I thought that was just his reflexes.
Zoro's fight with King also showed flashes of this when he started picking up on King's fighting rhythm mid-battle. He was dodging blade slashes left and right, countering faster than the eye could see. If mastered, makes you nearly untouchable. 7th place, Future Sight. Future Sight, as the name implies, is when a character can use their advanced observation Haki to see glimpses of the future. This was perhaps the coolest thing about Luffy's fight with Katakuri, as Katakuri was able to accurately see all of Luffy's attacks before they even happened. This Haki type takes a ton of focus, and only a couple of characters in the entire show awakened it. However, when fully mastered, it can even allow the user to see full minutes into the future. The strongest use of this technique was seen when Shanks saw Kid's entire attack before it happened and was able to stop.
Yeah, and that's when Shanks decided to run over and one-shot him.
Are much different, showing that there are levels to this ability as well. Asa broken ability. There's pretty much no way anyone can count.
Okay, so that's
3rd
number
place.
3.
Emotion reading. This form of observation Haki lets the user figure out what the other person is thinking. However, it's not really mind reading, it's more like advanced face reading. It's an incredibly niche use of Haki, but an important one for Sanji. Ever wonder how Sanji could sense Nami, Robin, or any pretty girl is in danger? It's simple. He's using a form of observation Haki that lets him figure out where to go when a beautiful woman nearby is in trouble. You can also point a finger towards Toby unlocking this ability during the chaos that unfolded at Marineford. He clearly stated that he could hear the voices of people crying out around him. The emotions were even strong enough to bring him to his knees. It's possible that even Enel used this technique to sense people's subtle shifts in fear or intent across the entire island. Pretty useless
I
in
thought he
battle,
was
but
doing that
I guess
because
it
of
has
his
some
devil fruit.
uses. 21st place.
I didn't think he
Voice
did that
of
because
all
his Haki, I thought he did it because his
Although
devil
not
fruit.
confirmed, Voice of all things is likely related to Haki in some way. Basically, everything in the One Piece universe has a voice of its own. This was never explained in detail, but there are examples where even something like a stone has a story to tell. A good example of this would be the time Roger heard the sea beast talk to him during Odin's flashback. Luffy and Shirahoshi are 2 other characters who experience the same thing at Fishman Island. The walking island, Zunesha, is a special, seemingly immortal elephant who strictly communicates using the voice of all things too. While characters like Joy Boy, Shirahoshi, and Momonosuke were born with this ability, others, like Roger and Luffy, seem to have accessed it in some way, though how they did so remains a mystery. Being able to talk to anything in the world sounds great, but it's only useful in a small number of situations. 17th place.
All right, we got 3 more
Advanced
left.
spatial awareness. Perhaps the weirdest application of observation Haki is when the user focuses hard enough to see through actual walls from miles away. They can pretty much use their immense focus to darken out the rest of their surroundings and seek out a specific person even in the middle of a war zone. The only person we saw use this technique was none other than Soge King Usopp. During the final battle at Dressrosa, he somehow tapped into this ability out of sheer desperation, and his shot somehow reached Sugar even though she was miles away. Not only that, Usopp also saw the point of entry for his shot and delivered it with great precision. It's safe to assume that every great sniper on the Emperor cruise is capable of feats like this. However,
it makes
now,
sense as they're
Usopp
snipers.
is the only confirmed user of this ability. Being aware of anything and everything around you is an excellent tool for recon, and it deserves a spot around the middle of the list. 12th place. Before we cover the new strongest Haki type in the series, let's first quickly cover Haki detection. Although we didn't see this ability much in the show, in theory, Haki detection allows the users to accurately identify people based on their Haki alone. For example, this is exactly what happened when Shanks used his Haki on Green Bull, and the Admiral immediately
Now,
knew
are we
it was
sure?
Shanks who attacked.
Are we sure this is what Shanks used? Because he said in theory. Because I feel like some of the stuff he said in this video may be a little bit questionable. I do know exactly what scene you're talking about because I reacted to it in like a One Piece compilation. But I don't know if this was the Haki that did it.
him
So.
despite him not even being on the island. Luffy did a similar thing recently during the Egghead arc when he sensed the Gorosei had entered the chat.
Okay, all right, that's valid. That's valid. That's valid. Okay, my apologies. That's valid because Luffy did it.
18th place. Imprinted Haki. Now, this is where things get wild. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, Oda hit us with a completely new level of Haki, which I will call Imprinted Haki. Now, keep in mind that everything I say in this section is pure speculation, but it makes sense considering what we just witnessed in the manga. Anyway, it's likely that this type of Haki allows the users to imprint their Haki into other people or objects. Recently, we witnessed Scopper Gaban's insane comeback when he clashed with one of the God Knights, Saint Summers. Although these guys are supposed to be immortal and immune to all attacks, Gaban somehow managed to actually hurt him. So what happened here? Well, I think a good way to explain it is that Gaban managed to imprint his Haki into his opponent, which completely stopped him from regenerating.
What did you just say to a young lad? Go back.
So what happened here? Well, I think a good way to explain it is that Gaban managed to imprint his Haki into his opponent, which completely stopped him from regenerating. Normally with...
But he didn't sound so sure. Are we sure that this is what happened?
Be immortal and immune to all attacks, Gaban somehow managed to actually hurt him. So what happened here? Well, I think a good way to explain it is that Gaban
Okay, maybe, okay, he said I think. I think he just means like this is just the best way to explain. Okay, I just want to make sure this is exactly a thing because some of these is a little bit, you know.
Managed to imprint his Haki into his opponent, which completely stopped him from regenerating. Normally, with regular attacks, the target is only exposed to Haki for a short moment. That's why characters like Gorosei can heal right away, because the Haki disappears after the hit. But what Gaban did was somehow leave his Haki behind inside the opponent, which kept Saint Summers exposed to it for much longer and stopped him from healing right away. This type of Haki could also explain how Joy Boy trapped his Haki inside the knot. Just like Gaban, he imprinted his Haki into it, and considering how powerful he was, his Haki stayed there for hundreds of years. This is the only known ability in the story that's able to hurt immortal beings, and it's likely that the Straw Hats will have to learn it in order to defeat Inu and the Gorosei. There's just nothing else like it. First place. Click on this video next where
I don't really know about it being in first place. I really don't, especially since there's not a whole lot of showings of it. That being in first place is a little bit sketchy because there really isn't a whole lot of showings. I think that there's a couple of things that could have been in first place. One of the Armament Hakis probably could have been in first place, honestly, since again, you have to use it to damage low gear users. I mean, this was a cool video, a little bit questionable. Really, it's not, it looks like there's not really 22 different types of Haki. He just kind of just used different like detailed explanations of Haki and just kind of used that and categorized it as another form of Haki. I was kind of questioning if some of this was actually legit or did he just say some of this shit just to get the video off. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Is all this actually legit? And while you're down there, subscribe button doesn't help you, but it helps you too. YCC content similar to this one. You guys did subscribe, I appreciate it live. If you guys didn't, I guess you'll part ways. Either way, go out, mind the TVs. I'm gone. Peace.